Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you will either elevate your life or expose the truth you've been avoiding. You are not lacking talent. You are not lacking potential. You are only lacking consistency. And until you fix that, nothing in your life will change. This audiobook is the blueprint. 7 habits done daily that turn ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Not someday, not eventually, starting today, starting now. If you want a different life, you need different habits, and you're about to learn the habits that never fail. Chapter 1. Own your mornings or lose your life. Listen carefully, because this chapter might be the one that changes everything for you. Your morning is not just a part of your day. Your morning is your day. Your morning dictates your pace, your energy, your attitude, your identity. And the truth is simple. If you win the morning, you win the day. You've heard it before, but now you're going to learn how to live it. Most people wake up and immediately surrender. They surrender to their phone. They surrender to chaos. They surrender to whatever emotion hits them first. They start the day reacting, and then they wonder why they never feel in control. You cannot live an unstoppable life if you begin every day in surrender. That's the key. Your morning must become a non-negotiable ritual, a standard, a personal contract, a declaration, this is who I am, and this is how I show up. Look at high-level CEOs, elite athletes, disciplined creators, people you admire. They protect their mornings the way a lion protects its territory. They know the truth. The world is loud. People are demanding. Life is unpredictable. But the morning, that sacred window, belongs to you. Before the world has a chance to interfere, you have a chance to lead. You have a choice. You can let the morning control you, or you can own it. And if you don't own it, you lose it. You lose the momentum. You lose the clarity. You lose the discipline you need to stay consistent. Let's break this down. 1. Morning discipline is the foundation of consistency. Consistency doesn't start at noon. Consistency doesn't start when motivation shows up. Consistency starts the moment you open your eyes. It begins with the first decision you make. Do you hit snooze, or do you stand up? Do you grab your phone, or do you grab your focus? Do you delay your life, or do you start it? That first choice sets the tone for the next 1,000 choices. The small decisions are the real decisions, and mornings are nothing but a series of small decisions stacked together. When you build a strong morning, you build a strong identity, because identity is repetition. Identity is pattern. Identity is what you do at the beginning, not what you promise at the end of the day. Look again at world-class performers. They wake up early not because it's trendy, but because it's strategic. It gives them separation. It gives them control. It gives them the advantage of starting with intention instead of distraction. You don't need their lifestyle. You don't need their schedule. But you do need their mindset. My morning belongs to me. If you win the morning, you win the day. Say it again. If you win the morning, you win the day. That's the key. That's the philosophy. That's the blueprint. 2. Chaos in the morning creates chaos in the mind. Let's talk about chaos. You already know what it feels like. Waking up late, scrambling through tasks, running on stress instead of intention, starting your day already behind. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Chaos is a choice. Control is a choice. One of them destroys your momentum, the other builds it. When you start your day in chaos, you trigger a mental domino effect. Your mind stays scattered. Your thoughts stay reactive. Your attention is pulled in 1,000 directions. You're drowning before the day even begins. But when you start your morning with structure, your brain enters a different state, a focused state, a state of forward movement, a state where you're making decisions instead of dodging consequences. Momentum is everything, and momentum begins with structure. When you choose order in the morning, you choose power. When you choose order, you choose clarity. When you choose order, you choose discipline. You have a choice: chaos or control. And every morning, you're casting a vote for the person you become. 3. Micro-morning habits that build discipline. Now let's get practical. Because you don't need a perfect 5 a.m. routine. You don't need a 2-hour ritual. You don't need a fancy setup. What you need are micro-habits, small behaviors that stack into discipline. Hydration, stillness, reflection, a written plan, a single deliberate action. These are small, these are simple, but these are powerful. Take hydration. The first glass of water is not about health, it's about discipline. It's about telling your brain, I start my day with intention. Take stillness. 1 minute of deep breathing is not about relaxation, it's about control. It's about reminding yourself, I command my attention. Take planning. 3 minutes to identify your top priorities is not about productivity. It's about power. It's about saying, I choose my direction. I choose my focus. I choose my day. These small habits don't stay small for long. They grow. They compound. They reshape your identity. That's the key. That's the formula. You don't need big habits. You need daily habits. Start small. Start early. Start every day. Say it again. Start small. Start early. Start every day. This is how discipline grows. This is how consistency forms. This is how unstoppable momentum is built through the little choices that stack into a powerful identity. You don't need perfection. You need presence. You need structure. You need standards. You have a choice. You can start tomorrow, or you can start now. Closing the chapter. Your morning is your anchor. Your morning is your foundation. Your morning is the proof of your identity. If you want to master consistency, you must master your mornings. If you want to rise, you must rise with intention. If you want to become unstoppable, it starts before the world even knows you're awake. If you win the morning, you win the day. And if you win enough days, you win your life. You've taken the first step. You've chosen structure. You've chosen discipline. You've chosen control. Now it's time to elevate your focus even further. You owned your morning. Now let's talk about the next battlefield. Chapter 2. Do the hard thing first. This chapter is simple, brutal, direct, and unavoidable. If you want to be unstoppable, you must learn one rule. Do the hard thing first. Not second, not later, not when you feel ready. First. Because the hard thing is the highest value thing. The hard thing is the identity-shaping thing. The hard thing is the thing you keep avoiding because you know, deep down, it demands the strongest version of you. And here's the truth no one likes to admit. Every time you delay the hard thing, you weaken your identity. You tell yourself, I don't trust my own strength. You tell yourself, I will choose comfort over growth. You tell yourself, I'm willing to stay exactly where I am. You have a choice, Every morning, you have a choice. Face the hard thing or run from it. Build yourself or break yourself. The hard thing builds you. The easy thing breaks you. Say it again. The hard thing builds you. The easy thing breaks you. Look at creators operating at the highest levels. Writers who produce a book every year. Coders who ship world-changing products. Entrepreneurs who move entire industries forward. They don't start their day with email. They don't start their day with notifications. They don't start their day dealing with other people's priorities. They start with deep work. They start with focus. They start with the thing that demands intensity, courage, and discipline. That's the key. The first block of your day must be dedicated to what matters most. Your craft, your purpose, your development, your mission. Research on productivity is clear. Your brain is sharpest in the beginning of the day. Your mental energy is highest. Your willpower is strongest. Your clarity is at its peak. That means one thing. Your highest value work belongs at the beginning of the day, not the end. Doing the easy work first is self-sabotage disguised as progress. It feels productive, but it's nothing but delay. It's procrastination dressed as activity. And you know it. Every time you skip the hard thing, you feel it in your chest. A sense of guilt, a sense of avoidance, a sense that you're running from the version of yourself you know you're supposed to become. Doing the easy thing may keep you comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of consistency. Comfort kills momentum. Comfort kills growth. Comfort kills identity. You have a choice. Choose the thing that builds you. 1. The hard thing is the highest value thing. Here's the truth. The task that scares you is the task that shapes you. The project you avoid is the one that will elevate your skill. The conversation you fear is the one that will free your mind. The workout you dread is the one that will strengthen your discipline. The business task you delay is the one that will change your income. Your potential is always hidden behind the hard thing. The easy thing maintains who you are. The hard thing transforms who you are. The difference between world-class performers and average performers is not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's the willingness to start with the hard thing every single day. Creators who produce massive impact don't wait for inspiration. They don't negotiate with their feelings. They don't waste their sharpest hours on trivial tasks. They sit down, they focus, they do the thing that stretches them, challenges them, develops them. And this simple discipline becomes their identity. They rise because they choose to rise. They excel because they choose discomfort over ease. They win because they choose what builds them rather than what entertains them. That's the key. The hard thing is your identity workout. The hard thing is your discipline training. The hard thing is your path to becoming unstoppable. 2. Decision fatigue. Why you must front-load difficulty. Let's talk about something that drains your power without you even noticing. Decision fatigue. Every decision you make wears your willpower down. Every choice costs mental energy. Every small task chips away at your strength. And by the time you finally get around to the hard thing, you're empty. You're tired. You're distracted. You're weakened by 1,000 tiny choices. That's why most people never complete the hard thing. Not because they're incapable, but because they're drained before they even begin. Here's the rule. If you don't choose the hard thing chooses you. It follows you all day. It weighs on your mind. It drains your energy. It steals your confidence. It becomes a shadow hanging over everything else you do. You can feel it. You know when you're avoiding something important. Your mind keeps returning to it. Your body tenses. Your mood drops. Your guilt grows. This is the cost of avoidance. This is the tax you pay for choosing the easy thing. This is how people sabotage themselves without realizing it. But when you front-load the hard thing, when you do it first, everything changes. You gain momentum, you gain clarity, you gain confidence, you gain power. You feel stronger because you are stronger. You feel more disciplined because you are more disciplined. You feel more in control because you are in control. That's the key. Doing the hard thing first eliminates the friction, the fatigue, and the emotional weight that destroys your progress. You have a choice. Do it early or pay for it all day. The 90-minute focus block, your daily weapon. Now let's get tactical. Here is one of the most powerful tools you will ever use, the 90-minute focus block. 90 minutes. No distractions, no notifications, no multitasking, no excuses. This is your daily contract with yourself. This is your discipline appointment. This is your commitment to doing the hard thing first. Why 90 minutes? Because it's long enough to enter deep focus, but short enough to maintain intensity. It matches your brain's natural rhythm of attention. It maximizes your cognitive peak. Many world-class producers use this structure. Writers, thinkers, athletes, founders, strategists. They know that 90 minutes of deep, undiluted, focused effort is worth more than an entire day of scattered activity. One focus block can change your entire trajectory. And here's the secret. When you dedicate your first 90 minutes to the hardest task, you send a message to yourself. I don't avoid growth, I pursue it. That message builds identity. That identity builds consistency. That consistency builds success. The 90-minute block is not about productivity. It's about power. It's about discipline. It's about proving to yourself daily that you choose the life you want rather than the life that happens to you. You have a choice. Start the day with power or start it with avoidance. Closing the chapter. The hard thing is your teacher. The hard thing is your builder. The hard thing is your path to becoming unstoppable. Every time you choose it, you strengthen your identity. Every time you face it, you weaken your limitations. Every time you finish it, you reinforce the truth. I do what others avoid. I choose discipline over comfort. The hard thing builds you. The easy thing breaks you. This is the philosophy of winners. This is the habit of consistent people. This is the mindset that separates the exceptional from the average. You've learned to do the hard thing first. Now it's time to eliminate the silent enemy of your progress. You conquered resistance. Now let's talk about the invisible force that shapes your entire day. Chapter 3. Protect your momentum at all costs. If you want to become unstoppable, you must understand one law that governs every breakthrough you've ever had. Momentum is your real superpower. Not motivation, not inspiration, not intensity. Momentum. Intensity feels good. Intensity feels powerful. Intensity feels productive. But intensity fades. Momentum compounds. Intensity burns bright for a day. Momentum carries you for months. And here's the mistake most people make. They wait for a burst of motivation. They rely on emotion. They depend on feeling ready. That's not discipline. That's not consistency. That's not how champions build lasting results. You have a choice. Show up only when you feel like it, or show up because the habit demands it. If you want a breakthrough, choose momentum. 1. Success comes from uninterrupted streaks. Success is not the product of one big effort. It's the product of small, repeated efforts that never get interrupted. Think of your life as a momentum curve. Every day you show up, the curve rises. Every day you take action, the curve strengthens. Every day you stay consistent, the curve accelerates. But here's the painful truth. Every break in momentum doesn't just pause your progress, it reverses it. When you stop, your momentum doesn't freeze, it drops, it sinks, it decays. And the restart cost? It doubles, sometimes triples. That's why stopping is so expensive. That's why skipping once becomes skipping twice. That's why one "I'll do it later" becomes 2 days, then a week, then a month. The restart is always harder than the routine. The restart is always heavier than the habit. The restart is always the price you pay for breaking momentum. You have a choice. Build the streak or break the streak. Look at people who accomplish big goals. Athletes, authors, creators, entrepreneurs. Their secret is not talent, not brilliance, not luck. It's this: they don't break their chain. They show up when they're tired. They show up when they're uninspired. They show up when they're stressed, busy, irritated, or uncertain. Why? Because they understand something average people ignore. Momentum is the most valuable asset you own. Once you have it, you protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Momentum dictates your direction. Momentum dictates your discipline. Momentum dictates your identity. The more momentum you build, the more momentum you keep. The more momentum you protect, the unstoppable you become. That's the key. Success is not built by intensity. Success is built by streaks. 2. Identify momentum killers before they ruin you. If momentum is your superpower, you need to know the villains that destroy it. And these enemies are not dramatic. They are subtle, quiet, deceptive. Here are the 3 biggest momentum killers you must eliminate. Momentum killer number 1, multitasking. Multitasking is a lie. It makes you feel busy but destroys your focus. It divides your attention, weakens your output, and breaks your flow state. Every time you switch tasks, you pay a cognitive tax. Your brain must recalibrate. Your attention must restart. Your clarity must rebuild. That restart exhausts you. That restart slows you. That restart kills momentum. Single tasking is strength. Multitasking is self-sabotage. You have a choice: scattered effort or focused power. Momentum killer number 2, emotional distractions. Emotional noise is deadly. Overthinking, worrying, people-pleasing, comparing yourself to others. These subtle habits drain momentum faster than failure ever will. You waste energy thinking instead of doing. You spend hours looping through fear instead of moving forward. You burn your power on what if instead of what now. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need their reassurance. It's not about perfection. It's about discipline. The mind that is cluttered cannot be consistent. Clear the noise if you want to keep the momentum. Momentum killer number 3, digital noise. This is the biggest modern threat. Doom scrolling, notifications, constant entertainment, infinite feeds that hijack your focus. Your phone is a momentum thief. Every scroll steals your attention. Every notification fractures your concentration. Every impulsive check breaks your streak. The algorithm is not your friend. It's your competitor, and it's winning every time you give it the first 30 minutes of your day. You have a choice: control your device or be controlled by it. 3. The 2-minute recovery rule, your secret weapon. Here is a rule that will save your momentum more times than you can count. The 2-minute recovery rule. Never let a small slip become a spiral. Never let a small break become a collapse. Never let a mistake turn into a full reset. If you get distracted, recover within 2 minutes. If you lose focus, reset within 2 minutes. If you slip on your routine, return within 2 minutes. Recover fast, reset fast, return fast. That's the key. The error isn't the threat. The delay is the threat. Most people lose momentum not because they failed, but because they stayed down. They miss one day and punish themselves. They feel guilty and avoid the task. They break the streak and assume it's over. The streak isn't destroyed by the break. The streak is destroyed by the delay in returning. You don't need perfection. You need recovery. You don't need to avoid mistakes. You need to shorten the time between them and your comeback. If you slip, pause, breathe, refocus, return. If you get distracted, stop scrolling, stand up, reset your environment, return to the task. If your morning routine collapses, rebuild it tomorrow. No guilt, no drama, no spiral. Momentum rewards rapid recovery. Momentum punishes emotional collapse. You have a choice: bounce back fast or drag the failure with you. The 2-minute rule protects you from the most destructive force in your life, losing belief in your ability to remain consistent. Because that belief is everything. If you protect that belief, you protect your identity. If you protect your identity, you protect your momentum. And if you protect your momentum, you become unstoppable. Closing the chapter. Momentum is your engine. Momentum is your multiplier. Momentum is your secret edge in a world addicted to shortcuts. Protect it. Guard it. Defend it with the same intensity you defend your goals. Don't let multitasking fracture it. Don't let emotions derail it. Don't let digital noise steal it. Don't let a small slip become a downward spiral. You have a choice: lose momentum or protect it at all costs. This is how consistent people stay consistent. This is how disciplined people stay disciplined. This is how unstoppable people stay unstoppable. You've learned how to protect your momentum. Now it's time to master the force that controls every thought, every decision, and every ounce of your discipline. You protected your power. Now let's protect your mind. Chapter 4. Build a vision so strong it pulls you. A weak vision kills more dreams than failure ever will. People don't quit because the path is hard. They quit because the picture in their mind is small, blurry, and disconnected from who they want to become. Your problem isn't laziness. Your problem is emotional distance from your own future. You don't need more motivation. You need a vision that drags you out of bed. You need a vision that whispers, "Get up, move, work." You need a vision so strong it pulls you. Because if it doesn't pull you, it won't keep you. That's the key. You've seen it. The athlete who trains at 4 a.m. with military-level discipline. The entrepreneur who spends 10 years building something the world doesn't understand yet. The creator who produces content for years before going viral once. What separates them from everyone else? A vision so vivid that it becomes oxygen. A vision so real it becomes a responsibility. A vision so heavy it becomes identity. This is where people misunderstand greatness. They think discipline comes first. No, vision comes first. Discipline follows vision. When you can feel the future in your bones, you don't need permission, motivation, or inspiration. You move because stopping feels wrong. You move because the alternative feels like betrayal. Let's get one thing straight. You have a choice. You can live by reactions, or you can live by vision. You can live by pressure, or you can live by pull. Most people choose pressure. You will choose pull. Point 1. Emotional vision, the pull that never fades. People fail because their goals don't emotionally move them. It's not enough to say, "I want to get fit." That does nothing for your soul. It's not enough to say, "I want a better life." That's a wish, not a vision. A vision must hit your emotions like a punch to the chest. A vision must scare you, excite you, and challenge you at the same time. A vision must show you something so big that the current version of you feels small. Look at the greats. The elite athlete isn't training for six-pack abs. They're training to break a record, to dominate a field, to etch their name into the fabric of history. The entrepreneur isn't building a company. They're building a world they want to exist. The artist isn't drawing pictures. They're expressing identity, legacy, meaning. Their vision isn't a line on a piece of paper. Their vision is a pulse. And here's the truth. Intensity fades. Emotion pulls. When your vision is emotionally heavy, you don't rely on discipline alone. The vision itself drags you forward. The vision itself becomes the fuel. Repeat this until it becomes part of you. If it doesn't pull you, it won't keep you. Point 2. The identity shift exercise. Now let's talk about the engine behind vision. Identity. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. That's the key. You want to know why you sabotage yourself? Because you're still trying to achieve big dreams with a small identity. You're still thinking like the old you. You're still acting like someone who wants change, instead of someone who demands change. So we fix that right now. This is the identity shift exercise. It's simple, it's powerful, it's non-negotiable. Every morning you say, "I am the person who," and then you finish the sentence with the identity required for your vision. I am the person who keeps promises to myself. I am the person who does the hard thing even when I don't want to. I am the person who finishes what they start. I am the person who refuses to break momentum. I am the person who moves with discipline, not emotion. Why does this work? Because your brain hates inconsistency. Once you declare identity, your mind works overtime to match it with behavior. You've been trying to change your habits without changing the person performing those habits. That's backward. Identity drives action. Action reinforces identity. It's a loop, a feedback system, a self-fulfilling engine. And remember, you don't need their permission. You don't need validation. You don't need approval. Identity is built internally, not granted externally. This is the shift. This is the upgrade. This is where the new you starts to take shape. Point 3. Vision removes doubt, hesitation, and comparison. Doubt exists in a vacuum. Hesitation grows in the absence of clarity. Comparison thrives when your own direction is undefined. When your vision becomes the center of your life, everything else becomes noise. You don't worry about what others are doing because you know exactly where you're going. You don't compare timelines because your path becomes personal. You don't shrink from obstacles because your vision keeps you moving. Clarity kills confusion. Say it again. Clarity kills confusion. People hesitate because they don't know what they're moving toward. People compare because they don't know what they're building. People doubt themselves because they're emotionally disconnected from their future. But a strong vision silences all of that. A strong vision gives your mind a target, your energy a direction, and your discipline a purpose. You stop asking, "Am I good enough?" and start asking, "What's the next step?" You stop saying, "I'm overwhelmed," and start saying, "I know where I'm going." You stop watching other people win and start building your own momentum. Vision is not optional. Vision is not decorative. Vision is the backbone of consistency. Because when the vision is strong, discipline becomes automatic. When the vision is strong, habits feel natural. When the vision is strong, quitting stops being an option. This is why you build a vision that pulls you. This is why you create a future that demands your effort. This is why you choose clarity over confusion, identity over insecurity, purpose over pressure. You have a choice. Choose the vision that pulls you. Transition to next chapter. You've now built the internal engine. You've connected emotion to identity, and identity to action. You've seen how clarity destroys confusion, and how vision creates momentum. Now it's time to build the environment that protects that vision. Because a powerful vision is useless in a chaotic life. You built the fire. Now let's protect it. Chapter 5. Stop consuming. Start executing. There is a silent trap that destroys more potential than failure ever will. A trap that looks productive. A trap that feels intelligent. A trap that convinces you you're making progress when you're actually standing still. It's the trap of consumption without execution. You already know this. You've lived it. You've watched tutorials. You've listened to podcasts. You've saved dozens of motivational videos that made you feel unstoppable for 10 minutes. And then, nothing. No action, no application, no transformation. And that's the problem. Information is useless without execution. Say it again. Information is useless without execution. You have a choice. You can stay stuck in the illusion of progress, or you can step into the reality of results. This chapter is the moment you stop pretending. This is where you break the addiction to constant learning and step into the identity of a doer, not a consumer. Because the world doesn't reward what you know. The world rewards what you execute. Point 1. The success trap of endless learning. Most people consume 10 times more content than they will ever apply. 10 times. And that's a conservative estimate. That means for every 10 strategies you learn, you act on maybe one, if you're lucky. This is why you're stuck. Not because you're unqualified, not because you're unlucky, not because you're missing some secret formula. You're stuck because you built a habit of learning instead of a habit of doing. You read productivity books instead of being productive. You study fitness content instead of training. You watch videos on discipline instead of practicing discipline. Here's the truth you've been avoiding. You don't lack knowledge. You lack courage. Courage to start, courage to fail, courage to look imperfect. That's the key. This is where most people fall apart. They use learning as emotional padding, as protection, as a shield from discomfort. Because as long as you're learning, you don't have to face the pressure of doing. You don't have to face the fear of failing. You don't have to face the reality that execution exposes you. But listen carefully. You don't need their permission. You don't need an advanced degree. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need one more course, one more tutorial, or one more motivational speech. You need action. You need movement. You need execution. Knowledge is power only when it becomes behavior. Otherwise, it's clutter. Point 2. Dopamine addiction, the real enemy of discipline. Let's talk about why consumption feels so good. It's dopamine, the chemical that tricks you into feeling rewarded before you've done anything real. Every time you click a new video, dopamine. Every time you save a new idea, dopamine. Every time you plan instead of act, dopamine. You're not addicted to growth, you're addicted to the feeling of growth. And that's dangerous, because dopamine is cheap. Dopamine doesn't require discipline. Dopamine doesn't require effort. Execution does. You've been conditioned to chase novelty, not mastery. To chase ideas, not implementation. To chase the excitement of something new instead of the quiet grind of doing the same thing until you win. Think about it. You watch 5 hours of tutorials on a skill you still haven't tried. You listen to podcasts about entrepreneurship but haven't built anything. You scroll through motivational reels but can't get yourself to start the basic habits that would change your life. This isn't lack of ambition. This is dopamine distraction. This is how the modern world steals your discipline. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not about dopamine, it's about discipline. Dopamine is natural. Discipline is intentional. You have a choice. You can keep feeding the addiction and stay exactly where you are, or you can starve the distraction and build the life you want. Because execution is the antidote. Execution kills hesitation. Execution kills overthinking. Execution kills doubt. The moment you start doing, your brain shifts. Your energy focuses. Your identity strengthens. You stop being a spectator and start being a participant in your own future. This is the psychological evolution you've been avoiding, and it starts right now. Point 3. The 24-hour execution rule. This is your new standard, your new law, your new command. Anything you learn must be acted on within 24 hours. Not next week, not when you're ready, not when life calms down. Within 24 hours. That's the window where knowledge transforms into behavior. Wait longer and it becomes entertainment. Act quickly and it becomes transformation. The 24-hour execution rule works because it forces momentum. It removes overthinking. It eliminates hesitation. You watch a video on improving your posture? Do the exercise today. You learn a business strategy? Apply the first step today. You discover a new productivity routine? Test it today. You have a choice. You can keep hoarding information like a collector, or you can start becoming a producer. This is a contract with yourself, a promise, a demand. Because the moment you delay execution, you weaken your identity. The moment you procrastinate, you tell your brain, my knowledge means nothing. The moment you hesitate, you reinforce the old you, the undisciplined you, the distracted you, the consuming you. But the second you act, you create a new identity. The identity of someone who applies, someone who moves, someone who executes. Execution is not a skill. Execution is a decision. Execution is a muscle. Execution is a commitment. And when you commit to the 24-hour execution rule, everything in your life accelerates. You learn faster. You build confidence faster. You create momentum faster. And remember what this audiobook is about. Consistency, identity, transformation. The 24-hour execution rule is your gateway to all three. Concluding transition. You now understand the truth. You don't need more information. You need more action. You don't need more content. You need more courage. You have a choice. Stop consuming. Start executing. Start today. Start now. And once you start executing, there's something else you must master, something most people never even notice. Your environment, the invisible force building or breaking your habits every day. You've taken ownership of your actions. Now it's time to take ownership of your surroundings.
Chapter 6. Audit your environment ruthlessly. Here's a truth most people refuse to accept. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Yes, stronger than discipline, stronger than motivation, stronger than desire. You might want to wake up early, start a project, or finish a habit. You might want to become unstoppable. You might want to finally achieve the goals that haunt you. But if your environment isn't aligned with your goals, you will fail every time. The world isn't fair. The world isn't kind. And your brain isn't wired to fight chaos, temptation, and distraction. You have a choice. You can blame yourself for lack of willpower, or you can audit your environment ruthlessly. Because high performers don't rely on discipline alone. They engineer their surroundings so that doing the right thing is the default. That's the key. Your environment is your silent mentor. Say it again. Your environment is your silent mentor. It teaches you, influences you, and shapes your identity without ever speaking. And most people live in a toxic environment and wonder why they're not progressing. Point 1. Environment beats willpower every time. Willpower is finite. Willpower is weak. Willpower fails. Ask yourself, how many times have you tried to resist scrolling your phone? How many times have you tried to ignore junk food in the pantry? How many times have you tried to sit down and do the hard work only to get distracted by email, social media, or a text? That's your environment talking. That's your silent mentor dictating your behavior. That's the invisible force that either propels you forward or drags you down. High performers understand this. They don't rely on trying harder. They remove the friction, remove the temptations, and engineer surroundings that force action. Look at them closely. The CEO who keeps a clutter-free office. The author who locks the internet when writing. The athlete who trains in gyms designed for zero excuses. Notice the pattern? They don't waste energy resisting. They remove the resistance altogether. And that's how they win consistently. You have a choice. You can fight your environment and lose, or you can control it and dominate. Point 2. The 3 key environments. To audit your environment ruthlessly, you must understand the 3 domains that govern every habit, every action, and every decision. 1. Physical environment. Your workspace, your home, your surroundings. Every cluttered desk, messy room, or chaotic home is a mini obstacle course for your brain. Clutter drains mental energy. Mess causes hesitation. Disorganization creates excuses. Simplify. Organize. Engineer your environment so that the tools you need are in place. Your desk doesn't just hold papers, it holds habits. Your home doesn't just house you, it either supports or sabotages your goals. Tip: place visual cues that trigger action. Notebook for planning? On your desk. Gym shoes for morning workouts? By your bed. Phone? Out of reach when focus is needed. Your environment will either whisper, "Do it," or scream, Don't bother. 2. Digital environment. Your phone, apps, notifications, and social media. The average person spends hours a day scrolling content that has nothing to do with their goals. Dopamine hits mask procrastination as productivity. Every notification fractures your focus. Every alert pulls you away from action. Audit ruthlessly. Turn off notifications. Delete apps that don't serve you. Use Do Not Disturb or Focus apps during high-value work periods. Your digital environment can either steal your attention or amplify your productivity. You have a choice, and it's a simple one: mastery or distraction. 3. Social environment. Your friends, your colleagues, your family. Your circle influences your identity more than you realize. People will either pull you forward or drag you down. Notice how easily your mindset shifts after conversations. Notice who drains your energy. Notice who doubts, discourages, or criticizes your ambition. High performers protect their social environment. They spend time with people who reinforce discipline, vision, and action. They avoid energy vampires. They seek accountability partners, mentors, and those who push them to be better. Your environment is not just where you live, it's who you let influence your mind. Point 3. Create environmental triggers for daily action. Once you've audited your environment, the next step is to design it to force action. Not optional action, not aspirational action, immediate action. Here's how. 1. Workstation setup. Everything you need for the task is within reach. Your tools, your materials, your desk layout, engineered to remove excuses. 2. Phone and digital settings. Notifications off. Social media blocked during work hours. Focus apps installed. The digital environment now serves your goals, not steal your attention. 3. Accountability rituals. Daily check-ins, weekly progress reviews, a trusted accountability partner who knows your deadlines. Your social environment now enforces action, not excuses. Small triggers, big impact. Visual cues, environmental nudges, everything designed to remove decision fatigue and force you to execute. Your environment becomes the invisible coach, the one that reminds you, guides you, and shapes your behavior without you even realizing it. Ruthless environment audit exercise. Ask yourself, is my physical space helping or hindering my focus? Is my digital space pull me toward growth or distraction? Are the people around me reinforcing my ambition or draining it? Be honest. Be ruthless. You're auditing your life, not just your desk. Then act. Remove clutter. Block distractions. Limit toxic influence. Create triggers that make action automatic. You have a choice. Keep your environment as it is and stay average, or take control and become unstoppable.
Chapter 7. Consistency over intensity. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Intensity is overrated. You've been sold the myth that success requires bursts of extreme effort, that you need to go all in or go home. It's a lie, a seductive lie, one that keeps you burned out, exhausted, and ultimately inconsistent. Small, steady, relentless action beats bursts of intensity every single time. Small daily beats big rarely. Say it again. Small daily beats big rarely. Look around.
The people who win long-term aren't the ones who sprint for a week and quit. They're the ones who show up every day, rain or shine, high energy or low energy, inspired or tired, they show up. You have a choice. You can chase the thrill of motivation, or you can choose the quiet power of consistency. That's the key. Point 1. The myth of motivation and all-or-nothing effort. Let's break it down. Motivation is unreliable. Motivation is fleeting. Motivation is a spark, not a flame. It comes and goes. Some days you have it, some days you don't. All-or-nothing effort? That's a trap. You've seen it before. You train like a madman one day, skip the next week, then feel guilty and quit entirely. You work 12 hours one day, collapse the next, and tell yourself, I'll start over Monday. Here's the truth. Intensity without consistency is wasted energy. High performers don't rely on fire, adrenaline, or motivation. They rely on habits. They rely on systems. They rely on showing up day after day. No excuses, no permission needed. Take fitness, for example. A person who lifts moderately 3 times a week for a year will outperform the one who lifts intensely for 1 month and quits. The same principle applies in business, learning, and life. Small daily action compounds. Large sporadic action burns out. Small daily beats big rarely. You don't need perfection. You need persistence. You need habits that survive your bad days, not bursts that die on the first challenge. Point 2. Micro habits compound into momentum. Consistency works because of compounding. Small habits repeated over time create exponential results. The 1% rule explains it perfectly. Improve by 1% every day. It doesn't sound like much. It feels insignificant. But a 1% improvement every day for a year equals massive transformation. Think of it like interest in a bank account. A tiny deposit today becomes a mountain in a decade. Micro habits, when repeated daily, compound into unstoppable momentum. Example, reading 10 pages daily. At first, it feels minimal. After a year, that's 3,650 pages. That's dozens of books. That's knowledge your peers don't have. Exercise for 15 minutes every day. That's hours of progress, strength, and conditioning you didn't have a year ago. Writing a paragraph daily. That's 365 paragraphs. That's your first book. It's not about massive action. It's about action that lasts. It's not about inspiration. It's about routines that survive your bad days. Repetition builds discipline. Discipline builds identity. Identity drives results. It's not about occasional intensity. It's about daily commitment. And that is how momentum becomes unstoppable. Point 3. The never miss twice principle. Now let's talk psychology. Habits fail when streaks break. Once you skip a day, it's easy to skip another, then the streak collapses. Your confidence erodes. Your identity weakens. That's why you implement the never miss twice principle. You can miss a day. Life happens. That's acceptable. But you do not miss 2 days in a row. Never miss twice. This principle hacks your brain. It forces you back into action immediately after a lapse. It protects streaks. It protects momentum. It prevents failure from snowballing into surrender. Here's how it works. Missed your morning workout? Do it tonight. Forgot to write your daily paragraph? Do it before bed. Skipped your reading habit? Read double tomorrow. You're training your mind to respect consistency more than you fear inconvenience. You're teaching yourself that missing once is an anomaly, not a pattern. You're reinforcing the identity of someone who shows up no matter what.
Consistency isn't glamorous, it isn't exciting, it isn't sexy, but it is the only thing that separates winners from everyone else. Micro habits plus compounding plus never miss twice equals unstoppable momentum. Application exercise. Identify your micro habit. Pick one habit that aligns with your vision. Make it small. Make it daily. Track the streak. Use a calendar, app, or journal. Visual streaks enforce consistency. Apply never miss twice. If you fail one day, you act immediately. Never let a single lapse turn into two. Celebrate persistence. Every day you show up, you reinforce identity. Every streak grows your momentum. Remember, execution is the ultimate equalizer. Motivation is optional. Systems are mandatory. Small daily wins accumulate into massive life transformation. Ruthless truth. Stop waiting for inspiration. Stop chasing bursts of energy. Stop thinking that all or nothing will work. Consistency is your weapon. Consistency is your secret. Consistency is the force that will carry you through doubt, fatigue, and life's chaos. And here's the kicker. The more consistent you are, the less motivation you need. The habit itself becomes the fuel. Showing up becomes automatic. Momentum becomes inevitable. You have a choice. You can chase intensity and burn out, or you can embrace consistency and become unstoppable. Small daily beats big rarely. Repeat it. Tattoo it on your mind. Live it. Transition to next chapter. You've now mastered the principle that effort is meaningless without consistency. You've built habits that survive distraction, resistance, and temptation. You've learned the power of micro-action, compounding, and the never-miss-twice principle. But here's the next truth. Even the most consistent person can be derailed by emotional chaos, overthinking, and mental noise. To stay unstoppable, you must control the one thing that governs every decision, every habit, every action: your mind. Chapter 8. Detach from feelings, commit to standards. Here's a truth most people refuse to accept. Your feelings cannot run your life. Not motivation, not excitement, not confidence, not inspiration. They are volatile, fleeting, and unreliable. Some days you feel unstoppable. Some days you feel tired. Some days you want to quit. And if you let your feelings control your actions, you will never win. You will drift. You will procrastinate. You will settle. Standards run your life. Not moods, not circumstances, not luck. Feelings fluctuate. Standards don't. Say it again. Feelings fluctuate. Standards don't. You have a choice. You can wait to feel motivated and waste your life, or you can commit to a standard so strong that feelings become irrelevant. That's the key. Point 1. Feelings fluctuate. Standards don't. Feelings are fragile. They change with the weather. They change with energy. They change with circumstances. Think about your goals. How many times have you skipped a workout, avoided a task, or postponed an important conversation because you didn't feel like it? That's the trap. High performers don't wait to feel inspired. They operate according to standards. Standards are rules you set for yourself. Rules you follow regardless of your mood, energy, or emotional state. Example, military training. Soldiers don't wake up every morning hoping they feel motivated. They wake up because there's a standard, there's a code, there's discipline. They follow it whether they feel like it or not. Actors and performers are the same. They train even when the stage is empty, when the audience isn't watching, when they feel tired. Standards force them to act beyond desire. You have a choice. You can negotiate with yourself, or you can commit. Negotiation is weakness. Commitment is power. It's not about inspiration. It's about discipline. It's not about feeling motivated. It's about honoring your word. It's not about mood. It's about standards. Point 2. Scripts to override emotions. Now let's get tactical. You need a mental toolkit to enforce standards when feelings want to sabotage you. Here's what high performers say to themselves. I don't negotiate with myself. This is your anchor phrase. It reminds you that feelings are irrelevant. You act because you have a standard. You act because you committed. You act because your identity demands it. I finish my commitments. Every task, every goal, every habit is sacred. You complete it regardless of desire, mood, or circumstances. You don't quit halfway. You don't wait for energy. You don't give excuses. Use these scripts daily. Say them aloud if necessary. Repeat them until they feel non-negotiable. Let them replace your old, weak internal dialogue. Point 3. The automatic discipline protocol. Here's the final piece. Motivation will die. It always does. Some days you wake up on fire. Some days you wake up tired, frustrated, or uninspired. If you rely on feelings alone, you will fail. That's why high performers build an automatic discipline protocol, a predefined system that kicks in when motivation evaporates. You have a choice. You can wait to feel motivated and watch your goals slip away, or you can have a system so strong that action happens automatically. That's the key. How the automatic discipline protocol works. Predefine actions. Before your day begins, decide exactly what you will do, when, and how. No decisions in the moment. No relying on mood or energy. Example: 6 a.m. workout, 7 a.m. planning session, 8:30 a.m. deep work. The plan is automatic. You act. You don't negotiate. Micro habits for momentum. Even when energy is low, small actions build motion. 10 push-ups, 5 minutes of writing, 1 paragraph of work. Small, consistent steps bypass resistance. They create a chain reaction that leads to full performance. Environmental triggers. Set reminders, alarms, and physical cues that force compliance. Phone away, workspace ready, streak tracker visible. Your environment now enforces your discipline. Immediate correction of slips. Apply the never miss twice principle. If you falter, correct immediately. 1 slip doesn't matter. 2 breaks the chain. Momentum requires vigilance. Streaks create identity. Scripts in real time. When temptation or fatigue strikes, say, I don't negotiate with myself. I finish my commitments. Your brain follows rules, not feelings. Real-world examples. Soldiers operate under SOPs, standard operating procedures. Motivation is irrelevant. Discipline is automatic. Athletes follow predefined training regimens, even when tired or injured. Writers create daily word quotas, hitting them regardless of inspiration. This is the essence of unstoppable action, a system that overrides feelings, fatigue, and excuses. Action becomes inevitable. Discipline becomes automatic. Practical implementation. Create your daily SOP. Write down exactly what you will do each day in order. Define micro-start actions. Identify the smallest possible step to begin each task. Set environmental supports. Align your surroundings to force automatic execution. Track streaks and correct slips. Visual streaks and immediate corrections enforce the protocol. Reinforce with scripts. Repeat, "I don't negotiate with myself, and I finish my commitments as necessary." By doing this, you remove the question of, "Do I feel like it?" from your life. You replace it with, "This is what I do. No exceptions, no excuses." The psychological shift. Detaching from feelings is not suppression. It's mastery. It's discipline. It's the mental architecture that turns inconsistency into dominance. When you act according to standards and your automatic protocol, you stop waiting for motivation. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" You stop depending on luck, inspiration, or energy. You have a choice. You can float with your emotions and remain average, or you can act according to a higher standard and dominate. High performers choose the latter every single day. Concluding transition to next chapter. You've learned to act without relying on motivation. You've detached from feelings. You've committed to standards. You've built a protocol that executes automatically. This is the mental architecture of high performers. This is how ordinary people become unstoppable. But even disciplined, consistent, and emotionally detached people fail when they neglect recovery, reflection, and energy management. Next, we'll explore the hidden force that ensures all your habits and standards last for a lifetime.
Chapter 9. Track, Measure, and Dominate. Here's a reality check few people want to hear. You cannot improve what you do not measure. You can set goals. You can commit to routines. You can say you want results. But without tracking, you're guessing. And guessing is the enemy of consistency, discipline, and domination. Data doesn't lie. Discipline doesn't hide. Say it again. Data doesn't lie. Discipline doesn't hide. You have a choice. You can float through life hoping you're making progress, or you can track, measure, and dominate every area of your life. That's the key. Point 1. What gets measured gets improved. Measurement is truth. It exposes your habits. It exposes your excuses. It exposes your performance. Without measurement, you live in illusion. You think you're consistent. You think you're productive. You think you're disciplined. But are you really? High performers track everything. Athletes log every rep, every set, every split time. Entrepreneurs record revenue, calls, conversions, and campaigns. Writers count words. Musicians count practice hours. Measurement forces accountability. Measurement reveals gaps. Measurement drives improvement. Think about it. If you cannot see it, you cannot fix it. Tracking removes excuses. I forgot. I tried. I didn't feel motivated. All irrelevant when data shows exactly what happened. You have a choice. You can live in self-deception, or you can embrace reality and dominate every metric that matters. That's the key. Point 2. Simple tracking tools. You don't need complicated systems. You need clarity, visibility, and consistency. Here are the tools high performers use daily. Habit grids. Draw a simple grid with days of the week and your key habits. Mark a check for every completed habit. A visual streak is motivating. A missing mark triggers immediate correction. Weekly audits. Set 30 minutes every week to review progress. Ask, did I hit my non-negotiables? Where did I drift? What can I correct? Weekly reflection prevents small slips from becoming systemic failure. Progress checklists.
Break goals into measurable steps. Track completion, not intention. Every tick builds momentum. Every tick reinforces identity. Athletes do this naturally. Every performance metric is logged. They review data daily. They adjust training based on evidence, not feelings. You can apply the same principle to every area of life: habits, productivity, creativity, fitness, or relationships. Point 3. Measurement becomes motivation. Here's the secret most people miss. Tracking isn't punishment. It's motivation. When you see wins, your brain rewards you. Streaks create pride. Momentum builds identity. Discipline becomes automatic because you see results. The act of measurement reinforces the behavior you want to sustain. Example: imagine a writer logging 500 words per day. Day 1 feels ordinary. Day 7 sees 3,500 words, proof of consistency. Day 30, 15,000 words, identity shift complete. You no longer try to write, you are a writer. Tracking turned action into identity. Measurement closes the gap between intention and reality. It removes ambiguity. It destroys excuses. It builds undeniable evidence of progress. You have a choice. You can ignore reality and drift, or you can track and dominate every metric that matters. That's the key. Implementation strategy. Here's how to make measurement work for you. Identify key metrics. Pick 3 to 5 behaviors or outputs that define your success. Be ruthless. Only track what truly moves the needle. Set a simple system. Habit grid, spreadsheet, or app. Pick your weapon. Keep it visible. Keep it updated daily. Review and adjust weekly. Reflection is non-negotiable. Ask, what worked? What failed? How can I improve next week? Celebrate wins. Seeing progress is addictive. Every checkmark is proof you are the person who follows through. Every streak reinforces identity. I am disciplined. I am consistent. I deliver. Correct immediately. Missed one day? Fix it the next. Never let a gap become a habit. One slip doesn't define you. 2 starts a dangerous streak. Real-world examples. Elite athletes, Olympic swimmers, and marathon runners know this principle intimately. They track performance, rest, nutrition, and training load. They cannot guess. Guessing loses medals. Guessing loses careers. Entrepreneurs use dashboards to track sales, engagement, and client outcomes. They don't hope results improve, they know exactly where to intervene. Writers, artists, and creators track outputs, page counts, sketches, or hours. Measurement removes ambiguity. Measurement reveals truth. Measurement fuels domination. And here's the kicker. You can use these same tools for your life. Tracking is not about perfection, it's about truth. Truth drives action. Action drives identity. Identity drives results. You have a choice. Ignore reality and drift, or confront the truth with data and dominate every metric that matters. That's the key. Transition to next chapter. You've built standards. You've automated discipline. You've measured and tracked your life. But even measured discipline can collapse without reflection, learning, and strategic adaptation. Next, we'll explore the final frontier of unstoppable performance. Chapter 10. Become the person who never stops. Here's the final truth that separates ordinary people from unstoppable performers. It's not about what you achieve. It's about who you become. all the routines, all the habits, all the systems, all the tracking, they point to one thing: identity. Until you become the type of person who shows up, who acts, who delivers, regardless of circumstance, you will never be unstoppable. Repeat it. This is who I am now. Say it aloud. This is who I am now. This is the anchor of identity. This is the mindset that makes habits automatic. This is the shield that deflects excuses. You have a choice. You can chase results, you can chase approval, you can chase motivation, or you can become the person who never stops. That's the key. Point 1. Identity shift. Stop achieving. Start being. Here's the core principle. Stop thinking of your actions as tasks. Stop thinking of your goals as endpoints. Think of yourself as the person who acts because that's who they are. High performers don't show up to achieve. They show up because this is who they are. The results are inevitable. The action is automatic. The habits are unstoppable. Example: elite athletes don't train because they hope to win gold. They train because they are athletes. The effort is not negotiable. The action is non-negotiable. The identity drives the behavior. This is why repetition is critical. Every morning, every task, every habit reinforces identity. Say it aloud. This is who I am now. I show up. I execute. I deliver. Repeat it. Internalize it. Live it. Your identity is no longer optional. It is your operating system. Everything flows from it. You don't need permission. You don't need motivation. You are the person who acts. Point 2. Eliminate exit doors. Unstoppable people don't hedge their bets. They don't keep backups. They don't set timelines as excuses. They eliminate exit doors. They commit fully. Look at high performers. Entrepreneurs who put everything on the line for their vision. No plan B. No safety net. Athletes who train through injury or exhaustion, knowing quitting is not an option. Creators who post, publish, and release content daily, regardless of validation. They create a psychological environment where stopping is impossible. Excuses are irrelevant. Complacency is impossible. Inaction is unthinkable. You have a choice. You can hedge, you can delay, you can protect yourself from risk, or you can commit fully, remove exit routes, and become unstoppable. That's the key. Eliminate exit doors in your life. No backup plans for your primary goals, only focus and commitment. No deadlines as permission to stop early, only relentless execution. No waiting for validation, only discipline. When you remove the out, you force the in. You force action, you force growth, you force results. Point 3. The 100-day Unstoppable Challenge. Now it's time to convert knowledge into action. Your next step is the 100-day Unstoppable Challenge. The principle is simple. For the next 100 days, you will show up daily. You will follow your routines, track your habits, measure progress, and execute your standards without fail. Rules of the challenge. No skips without recovery. Miss a day, correct immediately. Never miss twice. Momentum is your superpower. Protect it. Track daily. Use habit grids, checklists, and streak trackers. Record wins, correct gaps, and enforce accountability. Commit to identity statements. Every day, say aloud, "This is who I am now. I show up. I deliver. I dominate." Remove exit doors. No plan B. No excuses. No timelines. Only consistent action. Reflect weekly. Audit your habits, progress, and behaviors. Adjust systems. Reinforce identity. Maintain relentless forward motion. By the end of 100 days, your identity will solidify. You will no longer think in terms of motivation or convenience. You will act because this is who you are. Reinforcement and repetition. Let's reinforce the truths. This is who I am now. I show up, I deliver, I execute. Momentum is unstoppable when you commit fully. Eliminate exit doors, action becomes inevitable. Repeat them daily, internalize them. Let them control your mind, your behavior, and your results. You have a choice. Drift through life waiting for the right time, or commit fully and dominate every metric that matters. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You are unstoppable. Real-world examples. Athletes, Michael Jordan, training in the off-season while others rested. He eliminated excuses. He committed to identity. Entrepreneurs, Elon Musk, working relentless hours on SpaceX and Tesla, ignoring doubt and distractions. Exit doors removed, action unstoppable. Creators, J.K. Rowling, submitting manuscripts relentlessly despite repeated rejections. Commitment to identity, not outcomes. These examples share one truth. Identity overrides circumstances. Standards and systems make action automatic. Exit doors eliminated. Implementation strategy for listeners. Define your identity. Write, this is who I am now. List behaviors, habits, and standards. Remove backup plans. Decide which areas of life you will pursue without exit doors. Commit fully. Start the 100-day Unstoppable Challenge. Follow your routines, track progress, measure results, and enforce accountability. Daily reinforcement. Repeat identity statements aloud. Execute your standards. Never negotiate. Weekly reflection. Audit, adjust, and reinforce systems. Keep streaks alive. By following this, you will become unstoppable. Concluding thought. You've learned to own mornings. You've learned to do the hard thing first. You've protected momentum. You've built a vision that pulls you. You've stopped consuming and started executing. You've audited your environment. You've prioritized consistency over intensity. You've detached from feelings and committed to standards. You've tracked, measured, and dominated every metric that matters. Now it's time to become the person who never stops. You have a choice. Drift through life waiting for the right time, or commit fully and dominate every aspect of your life. That's the key. Your next step is the 100-day Unstoppable Challenge. Your results will reflect your identity. Your habits will define your life. Your consistency will make you unstoppable. Say it aloud. This is who I am now. I show up. I deliver. I execute. Say it every day. Live it every day. Act like the person who never stops. And remember, you don't need their permission. You don't need motivation. You don't need luck. You are unstoppable. Ending transition. This is more than a chapter. This is your transformation, your new identity, your commitment to action and dominance. Now go. Start your 100-day challenge. Show up. Execute. Track. Measure. Repeat. The world doesn't wait. Your results won't either. Become the person who never stops. Say it aloud. This is who I am now. I show up, I deliver, I dominate.